The data you store on your flash drive is probably the most insecure. Flash drives are the easiest to lose, and if you store any sensitive data on your flash drive, you better have it encrypted. In this video, you will learn how to encrypt the most sensitive data on your flash drive in several ways with different level of complexity and security. Hello everyone, it's a Linux user, helping you to install, configure and use Linux. Although nowadays everything is moving to the cloud and flash drives are not used often, they are still handy sometimes, especially if you are concerned about your privacy. Your online accounts can get hacked, but in case of a flash drive, someone first needs to get physical access to your flash drive, and if the data on your flash drive is encrypted, that person would also need to decrypt it, which is not easy. Even if you don't think your data is very sensitive, it will not hurt to encrypt it. You never know how your data can be used if you lose your USB drive. In this video, you will see several options how you can encrypt your flash drive. You can create an encrypted file container, so you will be able to store both encrypted and regular data that is open to anyone who has access to your flash drive. Similarly to the second option, you can also split your flash drive into two parts. One will be encrypted and another will be a regular partition. You can encrypt the whole flash drive. In this case, you would have to use the encryption passphrase every time you want to use your flash drive. Finally, if you really have something to hide, you can create a hidden encrypted volume. This is to protect yourself from a case when you are forced to reveal the password for your encrypted data. Let's get started. For all the encryption options, I will use Veracrypt. It is the most user-friendly and flexible encryption tool. First of all, it is available for all platforms, so you will be able to access your encrypted data from Linux, Windows and Mac OSs. I'm not going to show you how to install it, it is pretty straightforward, and I have already shown the installation process in this video on Veracrypt. If you are interested, click on this card and watch the installation process for Linux. Second, the program has very simple graphical interface, but it has everything you may need. To encrypt the data, you need to click on Create Volume. The first encryption option I'm going to show you will be how to create an encrypted file container. So you select Create an encrypted file container here, click Next. In this case, you keep standard Veracrypt volume, we will use a hidden volume later. Next. Here, you select the location and give a name to your encrypted volume. You navigate to your flash drive and create a file here. Let's name it encrypted volume. Next. For the encryption algorithm, you can keep it at defaults. If you are curious about these different algorithms, you can read about them here and also click on more information. Next. Now we need to decide on the size of the encrypted volume. You will see the maximum available size. Choose the size based on the amount of data you intended to store in this encrypted volume. I will go for 1 GB. At this step you need to provide a password you want to use for the encryption. Try to make it reasonably long and include letters, numbers and special characters. For the flash drive encryption, using a key file is not practical, but if you are going to mount your flash drive on one or two specific computers, you can enable the key file. I have shown how to use a key file in the previous Veracrypt video. See the link in the description. Next. For the file system, I recommend keeping FAT. It will work across all operating systems. Next. For beta encryption, you need to move your mouse randomly here until this bar is filled. After that, click Format. Now, Veracrypt is creating an encrypted volume on your flash drive. It may take a while, depending on the size of the volume you are creating. The encrypted volume has been created successfully. Now, we can close this window and go back to the main window of the program and mount the encrypted volume. You click on any free slot here, then select an encrypted file container we have just created. It is located in my USB drive. Next, click Mount. Here you need to enter the encryption passphrase. And you also may be requested to enter your administrative password. After that, most likely the encrypted file container will open in a new window automatically. If it doesn't, you should be able to find it in the devices section of your file manager. Now, you can place all the data here you want to have encrypted. To demonstrate you how it works, I will create an empty file here. Let's name it test file container.txt. After you finish placing the data in this encrypted volume, close it and dismount. So now, if I go to my USB drive, I will see the encrypted file container. The file we have just created is not accessible here. Even if I try to open this file container, the system won't recognize it. So all the data located in this file container is securely encrypted, and the only way to access it is to mount it with Veracrypt. This was the easiest and the least paranoid way to protect your data. The only problem here is that the encrypted file container will be visible to anyone who mounts your USB drive. You can somehow hide it by adding a dot to its name. But there are better ways to hide the encrypted volume. One way to hide the encrypted part is to split your flash drive into two parts. One will be encrypted and not visible by default, while another part will be a regular partition. To do that, you need to repartition your flash drive. You can use disk utility, gparted, or any other partition program. You delete the old partition. This will also remove all the data from your USB drive, so make sure you copied it somewhere else before this step. Next, you create one main partition that will be your regular partition. For example, I will make it 15 gigs and give it my username. You can see now this is a new partition and some free space which we will use for encryption. I click on it and create a new partition. The file system doesn't matter here, it will be reformatted anyway. If you want, you can also give it a name. I prefer to keep the name empty. It will look less obvious that there is some information on this partition. Now, when the partitions are created, let's encrypt one of them. Click Create Volume, and here, instead of a file container, we select partition. For now we will keep it standard. Next, select the partition you want to encrypt. Here I can see that SDB is my USB drive, because of its size. And these are the two partitions we have just created. We need to encrypt the second one. This is a warning that Veracrypt recommends to use file container for inexperienced users. This is okay. The next steps are the same as before. I will quickly go through them without commenting, because you already know them. When the partition is encrypted, let's check how the system sees it. In the file manager, if we look at the devices, you only see the ALU partition, and the encrypted partition is not shown. This is really good. The Linux system, and I believe other systems, won't show this partition in a file manager, because the file system of this partition is not recognized. The only way to see it is to open some partition manager, where it will be shown as unknown. But you know, it is a Veracrypt encrypted partition. The mounting procedure for an encrypted partition is the same as for a file container. The only difference, you need to select device instead of a file here. You select the partition and mount it. Now you can place your files here. When you're finished, don't forget to unmount it. So this encryption option is one level more secure than the file container, because someone who wants to get access to your data also needs to know about this partition and also needs to know that it is encrypted. You can also encrypt the whole flash drive. I listed it as the third option. The difference from the previous option, you do not split your flash drive into two partitions. This is less practical in my view, because the only way you can use your flash drive is to mount it with Veracrypt. You won't be able to place any files on it in a regular way. I believe a few of you will use this option. Of these three options, where to protect your data if you lose your flash drive. But what if you use your flash drive to store extremely sensitive information in your office, for example, and someone catches you with your flash drive and forces you to reveal the password from an encrypted partition? Not a pleasant situation, isn't it? Luckily, you can protect yourself and your data. This is the option 4. Use a hidden partition. Basically, you create one encrypted volume within another one. So you can disclose the password from the outer partition that doesn't have any sensitive data. This way, you look cooperative because you reveal the password, but you do not disclose the truly encrypted data. You only give access to your falsely encrypted data. The data you are really hiding is still encrypted. What is great about this option, no one will be able to prove that you have another encrypted volume on your flash drive. To create such a hidden partition, you need to create an encrypted volume within the partition and make it hidden. I will encrypt the same partition as before. All options are also as before, except at the password step, you need to create 2 passwords. First, you create a password for the outer volume. This is so-called your falsely encrypted partition. You can use a simple password here, because it is not important. This is a password you can reveal. I will use 4 characters here. You encrypt this partition. Next, you need to create another encryption volume. This will be a real encrypted volume, where you store the data you want to hide. Here you specify the size of a hidden volume. I think half of the maximum size is fine. And in this field, you enter the real passphrase. It is better to make it long and complex. The rest is the same as before. The hidden volume is created. Let's test it. Select the encrypted partition and mount it. Depending on what password you enter, different volumes will be mounted. For example, I enter my longer passphrase and place the data I truly want to encrypt and hide. Dismount it and mount my fake encryption volume with a simple passphrase of 4 characters. As you can see, there are no files here. To make this fake encryption look real, place here some files you presumably want to hide. At the end, dismount it too. So now everything depends on what passphrase you use to mount an encrypted partition. Just be careful not to reveal a wrong passphrase, if unluckily you happen to have to reveal your passphrase. Now you are equipped with the tool to protect the data on your flash drive for the cases if you lose your flash drive, or even if you are forced to reveal the password from the encrypted volume on your flash drive. So you can sleep well at night and don't worry that your data is insecure. Actually, you can use all these encryption methods for regular hard drives, not only USB drives. Thank you for watching!